What's up?
Hi, everybody.
Howdy.
Stefan. Well, hello.
Well,
How you
hello.
doing?
Stefan
How's
has
your mom
become
doing?
the new Corey Nichols.
I know,
He's the
right?
first to
Corey's too cool
respond.
anymore. What
Corey's
up,
too
Nick
cool for him.
Prang?
What's up, buddy? Yeah, we got another great show. We got actually our next 3 weeks lined out, and we hadn't done that in a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
We ain't
gonna be waiting until Sunday. But
Yeah.
who we gonna have on this week? In
Yeah.
the last minute.
We got a big
Yeah,
list,
Tad.
but we just always wait till the last second to.
Tad, you like how I put that picture in the text group so everybody know we're live right now? Everybody's always like, "Oh, I miss it," so I made sure to like, "Hey, y'all, we're live."
Well, we know David White's going to be at the bar. It's Wednesday night, so
Oh yeah, the hot tub.
Yep. Anyway, great show tonight. We really don't have anything else to talk about. I guess you're kind of snowed in or iced in.
Yeah, that's why it looks a little different here. Amanda helped with the ambiance though. She found me a little red light, so it's kind of like I'm at the shop, but I'm not. I'm in my basketball shorts. It's pretty nice.
I'm glad we didn't get the snow. We'd have been shut down
Donnie?
for a month.
Hey, kudos to Donnie for changing dinner plans to watch tonight because his old buddy Daniel Gromm gonna be on the show. I love it.
Yep. So yeah, we got you've already said we got Daniel Gromm on tonight, and of course Daniel's not a stranger to podcasts. Of course he was part of PDR Tool Time, and of course he's my motorcycle idol guru guy that inspired me years ago to get into doing the motorcycle dent. So we're not going to waste any time. We're just going to go ahead and bring him on.
It's a good show.
What's up, Daniel?
Hey.
Hey.
On, man.
He's a professional about how crisp he sounds and looks. Like he has got this down. I think he's done this a time or two.
It's not like having Chris Howell on that
he's in the van,
or Bruce Halverson that's got
AOL
dial up Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Anyway, so how's it going, Daniel?
I'm doing so good, man. I piss excellence.
Nice. I wake up in the morning.
I scream around my shop like an eagle on fire.
Running around in your underwear.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what time is it out there? It's what, 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah.
I knocked off
off
work early. Worked out good. So we've had some rain and that always puts a hiccup in the estimates, and so the timing's all good for me.
Right.
Yeah. So
where he actually reached out to you? You're one of the first guys he called for advice on buying a shot. That's huge. Like Matt Moore reaching out to you for advice. He's the one I reach out to for advice now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Where exactly in California are you?
So that's important for me because I'm in Northern California, and so when you're in Northern California, you don't associate yourself with Southern California. Yeah, you got degenerates down in Southern California like Mike Toledo and stuff.
You don't associate yourself with them, huh?
Yeah. Now we're in Northern California, so I'm an hour north of San Francisco. You fly into San Francisco, drive 1 hour north, and you hit wine country, and I'm surrounded by vineyards everywhere you look. There's a friggin' winery. So it's a lot of money in our area. A lot of car people, a lot of car collections, a lot of hidden car collections. I'm constantly surprised when a car collector comes in and he shows me his shop or his location, and he's got all these beautiful cars and stuff. And in fact, back when the fires hit, we had a fire, that big fire about 5 years ago, and big car collections just went up in flames.
Goodness,
it was really, really sad. I had one customer had 3 Ferraris gone.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Over 2 of them were over $1 million for these Ferraris.
Christ.
Yeah.
Jesse Reyes said, "Stop it. We're high class people in Southern California." Hello, Jesse.
Yeah. So, I live in it's funny where I live in Santa Rosa. I don't have any other retail locations to compete with. there's really only 3 other dent guys. They're prolific in our area that's doing good work and stuff like that.
Okay.
But mobile. So I'm in a unique position, not having any real competition. Really,
That's awesome.
It's nice.
And you got a great shop. Especially, I really like how you painted it the black and all that. Man, it really looked good.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a recent thing. My shop is my clubhouse, man. It's like,
Same here.
I'm not all neat and pretty like a lot of you guys. You have it all nice and organized. Mine's kind of organized chaos, but
Yeah.
I love all my antiques and all my knickknacks and stuff. And I get a lot of great response when people come into the office and they see all that stuff, because I want them to connect to Americans, are back in the day when automobiles were like a thing, and you took Sunday drives, and there was a connection there. And today I feel like everybody lives in a box, drives a box, and eats out of a box, and it's like everything's throwaway. So I try to connect people back to yesterday and the cool stuff,
Yeah. That's kind of like
cool
me.
Stuff. Rob Ivy, he collects. He's like talking about he loves your Coke signs and other antiques. He's got a bunch of cool antiques and stuff like that.
He has a ton of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Ton. He should be a Coca-Cola museum, is what he should be.
Yeah, you're right.
Who's that? Who does that?
Rob
Ivy. He's out in Omaha. He was at Dent Wizard Tech Tool a few years ago, and he what's the Dent Menders?
Okay.
Yeah, Dent Menders out in Omaha.
Yeah.
That's what they
I gotta look up his shop now and see.
Well, that's his house.
His house is nuts. He goes out picking every weekend and stuff. Like he's finding all the good
he's
stuff.
A picker.
Oh yeah, he's a picker.
Well, I'll tell you, you put up this stuff in your shop, and people give you. I mean, I can't tell you how many signs I've gotten given to me. Really? I got a huge Pegasus horse. Yeah. I mean, it's worth thousands of dollars, and this guy gave it to me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, in fact, I just got a sign last week. A guy drove up with a 2-sided porcelain sign, and he goes, "Here you go." And I'm like, "Wow, thanks."
You need a dent repaired for that?
yeah, I didn't even have to do anything for him, man. He just wanted to give it to me. And
that's kind of like mine and Andy's shop. Like he's the everything is like super clean. I mean, sharp looking. Me, I've got stuff all over the walls, and that I like. That's what I like. I'm kind of like you, and I grew up. My parents were huge antique people. Like we went antique shopping all the time. Anywhere we went on vacation, we're going to find the antique stores and stuff.
Nice.
But I don't. I'm slowly getting things where I want it. But yeah,
I got my PDR banner, my PDR banners, and my PDR hats. That's all I like.
Yeah.
Reed Anderson asked about the balloon tips. The small balloon tips be available. Do you have any idea? I know that's Blim making those, right?
I haven't talked to him after the show, so he, I don't know if I have the answer for that. But he did say that he was surprised that we sold out right away, and people were showing a lot of interest, and so I think he'll be on it. I'll give him a call tomorrow and say, these guys are asking for it, because it's a pivotal tool in my opinion.
Absolutely, I love a balloon tip. Like people think it's for soft dents, but it's actually for sharp dents to not get those pick marks in it when you're bringing up any dent, but still with them, you're not getting as many pick marks with it.
Also for creases, man, if you got to think of it kind of like the philosophy of a stand liner tool, and you get a crease inside of a brace, you can do a walking motion, and it'll smoothly take out a softer type of crease, and you'll be able to walk it all out really quickly, and then go back and pick for the little stuff.
I've actually bent mine around to hook it around to get behind a door brace. And that's where it's like it stayed like that ever since I did that a couple of years ago. And I'll stick it down in the door when I take the belt molding off, where I can get get that balloon tip down in there
Yeah.
pretty good.
I had
And,
one special made flat with the handle flat with it, and it's long. And when I take a hatch off a Hell car, I can
Oh,
slide
yeah.
it in those braces. Man, it works so great. Like that's my go-to
Yep.
for Hell cars.
Nice. That's killer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's start the show off by getting your background of how you got started into PDR. You know, what were you doing before, and it made you figure out what PDR is and get into it.
Yeah. Man, well, you know, originally I was going to be a contractor. I was doing all kinds of stuff, building houses, and I started off out of high school in wood shop, and I was really into that. And then I started building houses, got into the union, and so my whole game was going to go into being a contractor and get my contractor's license. And I had a serious motorcycle accident. I hit a semi truck head on. Oof. And put me in the hospital. I tore apart my knee, crushed my femur, pulled apart my pelvis, broke 7 ribs, punctured a lung, and total bleeding, fractured my back.
Goodness.
And
you're lucky to be alive.
Yeah, I really was. And I woke up in the hospital, and I had 3 pins in my knee, 6 pins in my hip, holding my hip together with this big bar contraption. And that changed my trajectory of my life, you know, in the best of ways. I wouldn't change it for anything because it's led me to where I'm at now. And it took me 2 years to recover and to even walk again. And
how old were you?
I was 24.
24.
And
we
lost him.
Before or after his modeling career. Hopefully we'll get him back. Like, he's in a good story right there. And then
yeah, it may have been. He may have been on his phone.
Yeah, well, he put it on airplane mode, so.
Oh no, he wasn't on his phone. He's on his computer or something.
Yeah, because he had his phone with Toledo on FaceTime.
I just texted him.
He's probably still talking. Yeah, I don't know if we remove the box, and we don't know what to do.
He said he thinks his computer died. Give him a second. So we'll just keep going. Let me I'm gonna kick him from the studio.
It go wrong with.
I don't want to ban him from the studio.
Right.
Anyway,
yeah, that would be bad.
So I know we don't have the sponsor up here, but again, they're our friends. So y'all go check out dentslayer.com.
They got really good.
So, you know, their training videos and stuff that they're doing. That's what I did.
Production in full.
That's awesome. But real quick, before he gets back on, you know, you can, if you've got training videos or something, and it can be anything. I've had several friends in the industry and stuff, guys that, you know, I do all my ads through Canva and pretty decent at all that. And so I've made templates for them, but I think I'm going to do some training tutorials on doing the ads for your business and all that through Canva, but post it on the Dent Slayer training thing so y'all can go, and that way you can kind of get an in-depth video of it. What was that?
I'm gonna do training on how to be a dumbass on camera. That seems to be working out well for us. So.
There you go. And Amanda needs to do the training on videos.
Yeah, so. Y'all will have to talk her into that. Matt in the house and in the gym because your ads are solid. Yeah, he's got some clean work on those Canva stuff.
Yeah, it was yeah, and it's once you get to doing it, it's fairly simple. Here we go.
Right.
All right. There we go.
Dude, I don't know what happened. My computer just freaking failed on me.
Well, he's like, does Daniel Gromm have AOL too?
Yeah. I'm like,
you missed it. Vince said that's why we didn't let Daniel handle production on the Tool
Time. Oh man. So you were 24. You had a bad motorcycle head-on collision. Took you 2 years to recuperate.
And so I started selling cars. I was a car salesman, and I sold a car, and I needed a dent taken out. And my manager says, "Oh, we got this new dent wizard dude." So he came in and did a dent and handed me a bill 20 minutes later for for $200. And I'm like, wait a second, you were there for 20 minutes. I started doing the math. I go, how many cars are you doing today? He told me, and I'm doing the math, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm in the wrong business.
Yep.
And that, I mean, it was like a light bulb going off. I knew without a doubt that's what I was supposed to be doing. I mean, it was so weird, that feeling of certainty. And it was, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it was something that I was like, I'm doing this. And
Yeah.
I got so lucky because I had talked to the guys that were doing chip repair on the parking lot, and they had investigated already, and they found these guys down in Los Gatos, which was about an hour and a half away from me, and it ended up being Mike Haggerty, who was the same trainer that trained Craig from Anson.
Okay.
And he was like, I think he was from Missouri, and they moved out. And this was like the beginning of Silicon Valley. So they went out there to kind of make a lot of money, and they had a retail location, and they were doing training. And I got so lucky because it was a month of training. I got a complete set of A1 tools, and I got this big clunking heavy light. I mean, this light was just enormous with bulbs, that would always fall out. And I was working out my little Acura Integra, and so I was lugging this thing in and out, throwing an extension cord. I had like 3 extension cords so I can go along the parking lot and stuff, and it was cumbersome. It was a trip.
Acura
And
Integra, I love it.
yeah, and then but he never trained me how to work down a door. I never got training on working down a door. He taught me how to drill in the side of the thing and take a twist tool and twist, right? And so one day I was scoping out Dent Pro at one of the car lots, and I had um, binoculars, and I'm looking at him working on his car, and he's working through the window, and I see the tool. Yeah, I was spying, dude. I was spying because I was hungry to learn more. And there's no resources like the guys have now. There's no videos. There's nothing. This is 1993, and I see him working. Just had a J tool going down through a window, and I'm like looking through my tools. Oh, I got one. I can do that. And work with no window protector. I mean, for the first probably 5 years, worked out with no window protector, scratching the crap out of windows.
Goodness.
Yeah. Then nobody knew what a window protector was.
Right.
And I used to break windows all the time. But that was how it was back then. And then I go into this body shop, and he's got a bunch of dent tools on the wall, but they look like medieval dent tools. There's cages, literal cages around the handle.
Huh.
And I put my hand through it, and I'm like, what is the cage for? I didn't understand it. I was like, it's too big, so you don't even leverage it with your arm or anything like that because the cage was too big. And so I called up the guy. I'm not even going to mention his name because he's a wacko. But yeah, and Tom Price knows who he is. And so I called him up, and I go, I don't get the cage. And I go, how long you been doing dents? And he goes, oh, I don't know how to do dents. And I go, okay, now that makes sense. And he goes, hey, would you like to meet me? I'm doing a show in Vegas. Would you like to meet me there? And maybe you can help me design some tools, and I'll give you some tools. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do that. And so I go to NACE, which is the auto body convention back then.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up turning into like a SEMA
Mhm.
eventually, but that's where I met Tom Price. And this was in like late 93, I think. Um, and it was literally East Coast, West Coast, two dent guys meeting for the first time. And our claim to fame is that we started MTE that year. That's
Because y'all,
the
yeah.
deal. That's the deal. We're sticking to it, man. And you know, we've been friends ever since.
That's awesome.
And that was the beginning, and then they find out how wacko this guy is, and so I just like, get rid of him. And I got contacted by a Japanese guy, and he wanted tools, and so I started a tool company and started making tools. I only did it for about 2 years, and then the Japan market collapsed.
Hmm.
And I realized I enjoyed designing tools, but I didn't enjoy shipping the tools or doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was much more difficult back then, for sure, too. And so I quickly got out of it. And that's when Dentcraft got into the industry. When I saw how slick their stuff was looking and much better, I was like, okay, I'll just leave it to those guys. They're doing it right.
Yeah.
Right. Donnie
Um,
Kavanaugh said, "Did you do the dents right on the buggies while the horses were still attached to
yeah, that's right. That's right.
them?"
Yeah, but I mean, I remember I created my own small light, um, like in '94. I went to a RV center, and they had these little lights that they go underneath the countertop,
Uh-huh.
and so I bought a bunch of those, and then I bought lock line and a suction cup, and I made my first mini light. You had to plug it in though; it wasn't
Yeah.
batteried,
Yeah.
and they would fall off all the time and break. And so I had like a stack of them just in my car, and I would replace them, you know, as they break, and always had extra bulbs. You know, you had to have all the bulbs.
Yeah.
And it was so much harder back
It
then.
was.
You know? And
Yeah.
then in '94 I started my shop, and because I knew back then that I had my end game. I wanted to do retail. I didn't like going in the parking lots and fighting over work
Yep.
and finding the managers and all that. I hated all that. I was
Amen.
already in the car business and I knew how all that worked, and I wanted to distance myself from it. I had bad taste in my mouth over the whole thing. Um, so I you know, I knew then, and it was tough. And I did training back then. Um, and then I went from that shop to another shop. And then in '07 is when I decided to buy my shop.
Okay.
And that was the best decision of my life. And I owe it all to Trump. I
Okay.
went to a Trump seminar in San Francisco, and it was a realty type of seminar. And they had these breakout sessions. And I went there and I learned how to buy commercial real estate and learned that there's like a special program and where they would rebate you half of your down payment for building improvements. And so I found that program and started that program, and I was shocked how easy it was to get a commercial loan. In
Mm.
fact, it took a day, and I was
That's
like,
crazy.
yeah, are you talking to the right guy? I mean, really? And
You gonna give me this? All
Yeah.
right.
I was like, shit, okay, cool. Um, and I want to encourage other guys to do that, man. I love that you guys own your own shop. There's so many guys that don't, and that's one of the things. I'm more than happy to coach anybody for free to buy their own shop, because it changes your whole business, how you operate, what you can do to
Yep.
it.
Mhm.
You know it. You know, and eventually, what's your end game? You know, how do you get out of this industry? And my feeling is that I can sell my business and rent back to the person that buys my business. And that's the best scenario you can have, I think.
I
Yeah.
really like that. Yeah.
And I don't think enough guys think about that. And I think it's something that I want to encourage as much as I can. But
and just buying property, it, you know, like I saying about mine, you know, we own an empty lot next to it. There's nothing on it. But if I ever decided to build the suit, whatever, for another business, then I'm renting the building. I'm building the building, own the property, and leasing it to whatever business that wants to be in there.
I think there's a big peace of mind that comes with ownership too, because you're leasing, like your lease term ends. Like, what happens? Are they going to not let you lease again? Are they changing it into something else? Like, you've got to constantly worry about that. This is yours. You don't have to worry about that.
Well, that happened to my buddy Don Kavanaugh. You know, he had to move, and you know, that's hard when you have to do that. You know, and then he spends a bunch of money doing building improvements. You know, you know, that's another big thing. You know,
and you spending money on marketing, letting people know that you move, because you know you have them returning customers. They got to know where you're at now. So yeah, I don't ever want that feeling like I'm stuck where I'm at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know that I always look at my building and my business. I want to reinvent myself every time I start to get a little bored or you know it gets me excited again when I can you know, like I painted the building like you're saying. That got me excited again, you know, and I put in a nice kitchenette upstairs for a break room for the guys and stuff. And now I have a place to go take a nap, which is great.
That's one thing I'm missing in my shop. I don't have a nap spot. If I take a nap, it's out in the waiting room. So that would probably
you got to get a nap spot, dude. Nap spots are critical.
I might have to get a hammock for the time being. We're about out of room in that 2,400 square foot.
Yeah. Can you tell I still have the COVID cough? I mean the MTE cough. Yeah.
I still have it. Like I didn't have mine. Mine was. I just thought my throat, my voice was completely gone by Saturday morning, just from talking, and that's usually how it is. And then it takes like a week for it all to. So I had that slight drainage, and I had a little cough, but no fever, didn't feel bad. But then weekend before last, it turned into a wet cough in the chest, and I went. They tested for flu, COVID, strep, all that was negative, but they did an X-ray and there was. So I've been on antibiotics for 2 weeks or whatever.
Everybody got it. It seemed like
everybody got it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I missed it. I ducked and dodged it somehow. Yeah,
lucky dog.
I know, right? I got it the year before though, so I mean, I was was due for an unscathed MTE.
Yeah.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Daniel. He probably don't know this, Vince, all the PDR Tool Time guys. If you never watched or listened to that podcast, it's huge. It was one of the first ones with PDR College I listened to, and coincidentally helped me get out of Dent Wizard. You guys had Dave Shalott on. He talked about being with Dent Wizard, getting out. I reached out to him after that podcast, and that's what set me on my trajectory to start my own business.
Cool.
Yeah, it was huge. On. So that's why I give you guys so much love and want PDR Tool Time back all the time.
I never saw that check though, man.
Sorry, it's in the mail.
It's coming from the Wiz, so you probably will never see it.
Yeah, they pay to get rid of me. Patient zero, Vince.
Yeah.
That's another dude I love, man. Dave's great.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, one of the best. Yep, I still got the little cough, but
what MTE this year, the best ever, in my opinion.
How'd you like our party?
It was, everything was so good, dude. I mean, every aspect, it was incredible. I couldn't believe how many people were there. It's great to see the detail thing grow. You know, obviously, I think there was probably a lot more growth there than us. But it's good to see that, and now they have their own competition and everything, which is great. Because having a detailer in my shop, I get a lot of benefits from that. But I also learn a lot on how to do all my polishing and getting the scuffs off and what products to use and pads and equipment and everything. And encourage you guys, if you don't have somebody like that, you know, you go to MTE and you can explore that side of it and learn and get that, you know, inside info on that kind of stuff, because it's
Like,
important.
I walked around there Saturday, and like I was wanting to find, like, talk to somebody like wheel cleaner and certain detail products, but it's like I walk down one side and it's like every booth has the same products, just different names. So it's like, where do I start? Like, why is yours different than, you know, what makes yours different than this one? But I'll talk to them later.
I love having the other services there, because as shop owners, like, that's a perfect time to look into stuff hands on to see what you can add to your shop to bring more clientele in. So that's huge. We always make it a point to go through there and check everything out really good, see if there's anything we can add.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
There's just a lot. Both industries have just grown tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I've got a buddy that they actually won operator of the year for the detailing side at MTE. So like the best detailing business, you know, voted on or whatever, kind of like we do person of the year and all that kind of stuff. But they won it. And I mean, they're right here with me, but he also owns Detail Bookie, which is the estimating system for the detailing side, and IGL Coatings. They bought it this past year.
Yeah.
But it is, man, it's that whole industry. It's kind of like PDR is kind of progressing a lot, and it's getting a little bit more known out there. And the detailing side, it's getting more known with people doing their own stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about it. I can't wait till next year.
Yeah, I'm ready for the Rose and Shingle again myself.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like, I kind of like where we were at, but the Rosen was really good too.
Mm-hmm.
I think the event space was better though, right?
The event space is better. The hotel actually takes cash, which is a lot better. You got the outside bar area, which is great hangout.
Yeah, that's the one problem with that place is people were spread out a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Spread out. It's cashless, so a lot of the I know last year was a little bit, it was worse because a lot of the guys coming from overseas didn't know that, so they bring cash, and then they get there and it's a cashless place, so then they're stuck using their cards and stuff like that. That was one gripe of last year. But
I think the staff
place.
The staff is better at Rose and Shingle personally too. Like the guys at the pool bar, the bartenders, they know you. Like you walk up, they got your drink ready, they're happy and stuff. And
yeah,
it seemed like we was a burden on the Gaylord, some of their staff. Like it's just like, oh God, didn't guys. That was just me personally.
I know. I had a beer in my. We sat down. I think the first night, Wednesday night or whatever, we went back down to the bar towards the front up there, lobby bar or whatever. Yeah. We're just sitting outside, and it's like almost closing time, and I had beers in my hand, like mine that I bought, and we're in the room, and the dude come over is like, "You can't drink them here unless you bought them here." I'm like,
"Yeah,
watch."
you know,
it's like
$10 beer
at Rosen. They wouldn't have cared. You're still going to buy their stuff anyway, but it just. But yeah, the event space is better. I do like how the Gaylords, where we have the parties and all that, you know.
Yeah, having that big space was nice.
Yeah. And Rosen has that. It's just all concrete area, like the cobblestone area out there. But we are going to have a 90s, and the band will be back playing 90s.
Yeah, the same band.
They were awesome.
They were so good.
Yeah, they were.
So they're going to come back. It's going to be 90s instead of 80s next year, and then we'll figure out after that if we're going to go up or down.
I told them I want a tiki party next time.
Yeah,
you and your tiki parties.
Tiki or we may do reggae style. We don't know yet, but we'll see how next year goes.
Yeah, 90 parties include rum, so I'm good.
Yeah, There you go.
Technically next year, David. It's not this year. It'll be
Yeah.
2026.
We did have a few demands with Sheldon for next year. Is you need more kegerators because having one little keg stand
Yeah.
and a line that's a mile long, you need them separated out there. So there's a lot of small changes coming for next year
That's good.
that'll make the party. But we are going to have a party. We are going to have a band, same band, 90s, because that band rocked.
Yeah, they
And
were awesome.
everybody loved the 80s party this year. So yeah, I'm excited for it already.
That's good.
So Daniel,
Yeah.
what do you got in your shop? You say you got a detailer in there with you. You say you got guys. What all are you running out of your shop right now?
So my detailer, when my second shop, I had my own detailer, and I was so sick of all the complaints, and it was like I hated it. So I got Quinn. He owns Autosport Detailing, and he was just on another level from everybody else. So when I bought the building, I convinced him to rent from me because he was in a crappy location in a crappy space. It was small, and so he rents actually 2 bays. I have 3 bays. Each bay is 2 cars wide, 2 cars long.
Wow.
And so he rents 2 of the bays. I only have 1 bay now. It used to be 50-50, but he got so busy he needed the space, and I gave it to him. And he does ceramic coatings is his big thing. He does wheel repair. He does PPF. Um, the big thing he does, where he's making tons of money right now is he's doing leak damage. You can't believe, and now that he's kind of in it,
Mhm.
he's getting more of it. It just kind of generates itself. And so he's taking out full interiors and replacing carpet kits. It's all
Okay.
insurance. It's insurance money, so it's good money. It's kind of like hail money almost.
Yeah.
You know, and if you got a detail shop, you should look into specializing in that. You got to have a good R&I guy that can tear apart a car.
Sure.
Because right now he's got 4 or 5 of those in the shop. The problem is we don't have enough room for all the stuff coming out of the car. That's sitting all over the shop and stuff. But he's killing it with that. It's a big business.
And he's
And it's mostly sunroofs. Sunroofs are
Yeah.
like notorious, and then certain trucks have vents in the back, like I think it's the Ford. They have
Dodges
decent-
are
or
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they leak through the vent and stuff, and it's big business.
That's awesome. I never would have thought about that.
Yeah. So if you got a detail shop, man, turn them on to leaks. Start.
I know a lot of sunroofs, like you saying, sunroofs get to leaking because we got a body guy at my body shop. He's got the hose he puts into the drain or whatever, and
Yeah.
has to blow that out because they get stopped up.
Yep.
Yeah, you want to get a good thermal camera so you can see where the leak's coming from.
Mhm.
And then they have one of those long. It's like a long thing that stick down the vents or the tubes and clear them out and stuff. But yeah, it's good business.
I like it.
Um, But yeah, and then of course I do the motorcycle stuff, and that's I can't keep up with it. It's so busy.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
You were the pretty much the first one doing motorcycles, or at least that we all knew of.
Well, that started because it was serendipity. Because right when I bought this building in 2007, we had that downturn in the economy, and I'm like, holy crap, business just fell off like a rock, and I was scared. I was really scared. And so I'm like, what's the other revenue stream? In my first shop, I was across the street from a Harley dealer, and guys used to come in all the time. And it just so happened that right then a guy came in with a Ducati tank, and he had the tank off. And he also had the fuel injection system out, so it had a nice big opening on top. And he goes, "Can you repair this?" And I was like, "Yes, sir, I can." I didn't know I could, and I screwed it down to a wooden table to work on it. And then I was like, "Hey, this would," and it was a lot. Once it was stable, that's when I clued into saying, okay, it's got to be stable to be able to work on it. That's number one. And I got to be able to work around it and have freedom and maybe height adjustment, right? And that's how all that began. And then I started designing the first tank vise and flew down to Ultra and asked Mike to come up and help me. And me, Mike, and Steve at Ultra, it was the funnest time I've ever had, man. We had Steve's shop completely to ourselves and at our beck and call. And so we were literally designing this thing on the fly. And I would go, okay, we want this and this. He would have his welder come over and go, okay, you run away, come back with all the parts, welded it up. And okay, let's test that out. And we made that first tank vise in a day, and it was so much fun, dude, because we
Yeah.
had everything at our beck and call to, hey, we want this. Hey, what if it fed into a trailer hitch? Yeah, that's a good idea, let's do that.
Huge.
And I mean, if honestly, I sometimes I wish I could just go to tool manufacturers and spend a weekend just making tools
Yeah.
and doing that, because it's so much fun for me. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's where a lot of my passion is designing stuff. You know, right now I think I have 13 different tools out there now, 14. Um, that I've had my hand in, and then I've also helped Dave Stream come up with a couple things and stuff. So I I love doing that.
Yeah.
I love seeing our industry grow and fulfill and just get better and make our jobs easier. And it's
For
so good,
sure.
man. It's so
Yeah, I
unique
love it.
for our industry.
Yeah. And yeah, when you get techs that's doing it all day, every day involved in the tool making process, you're getting a good tool. Like, exactly, it's been, tried and tested to know that it's going to work for what you need it to. So that's huge too.
Yeah,
And shout out to the tool industries for listening to us and, taking our advice and making these tools. Like, they could be like, kiss my ass, we know what we're doing. But they
yeah,
all take the advice and run with it. It's huge.
yeah. It is. It really is. I mean, but every tool company was a Dentech at one point. It seems
Yeah.
like,
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
you know. So that's.
That's what if it ever got to the point where I couldn't push anymore and I couldn't think of something else to do, I may be calling some tool companies, being like, "I'll come work for you."
Yeah.
I love making a lot of my own stuff too. It's
Vince
fun.
Slayer did a real good video. Matt Boyette and James Ricci went to A1 and had a really good video of them making tools there. It's really cool
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah. I like that video. That's a
Yeah.
Me
good one.
too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So we're kind of, I
I
mean,
knew I was waiting on Brandon to say it. We're
um,
over the halfway mark.
yeah, we're at that like 40-minute mark. So we'll go ahead and kind of go into who you are outside of the PDR world. So like we know you're married and stuff, but you want to, talk about your wife, your kids, and what y'all like to do.
You
And
know, I want to, my wife is such a rock, man. She's so great. If you meet her, the one thing about my wife, she's the happiest person you'll ever meet. And she'll make you feel like you're a lost long friend in 2 seconds. She is just got this energy about her that is so good. She always makes me look way better than I am,
I think all
Same
our
with my
wives
wife.
do.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. And I've got two great kids, Trenton and Megan. Trenton's 22, Megan's 18. Trenton's he's trying to break in. He's down in college down in LA. He's trying to get into Hollywood. He wants to be a sound engineer
Okay.
and get on TV shows. I'm friends with Guy Fieri, and I got him on grocery games early on. He used to actually go to his kids go to that's the same school as my kids,
Okay.
and so Guy used to come in and give a cooking class for the kids in 8th grade and stuff, and then he invite the kids to grocery games, and they would get to go on set and stuff, and then. I've been friends with him since he started in the restaurant business, and I go, hey, Trenton wants to, see what the show's like, and he got to go shadow the sound engineer on the show and stuff, and that got him the bug. So he's trying to do that. And then Megan she's going to be a radiologist. She's going to JC right across the street from my shop, and she works for me on Fridays. And so I get to have her in the shop, and she gets to see what Dad does here, and she's great. But yeah, I got a good core family, which is really nice.
Awesome. So how long have you been married? Let's see if you can get it right.
25 years.
Look at it.
Really?
Yeah.
Right there together.
Yeah.
You caught him on a good year. It's 25.
See, I started early. You started late.
Took me a long
my
time
second
to
one
find the
late.
right one.
Yeah.
Same.
No, that's awesome though. Yeah, my oldest are right there, and then we had a surprise. She's 13. She just turned 13. So, but yeah, it's nothing. Well, at least your son's away, but your daughter's right there, still at home, going to college. Mine are both
right across the street. That's awesome.
Yeah, gone. So it's seeing them as much as I can. We try to do that.
I'm kind of dreading that day. I like having my kids around. They're a pleasure.
Same.
They're easy. They're super easy. I don't want to see them go, honestly. So
I can see that.
Yeah, it sucks, but I was at that point at one stage of my life. I just wanted to get away.
Yeah.
My 18th birthday, I signed a lease. I was out.
Yeah, my son told me last time he was up for Christmas, he goes, "Just let you know, Dad, I'm not coming back." And I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
That's fine. I'm glad you know that and decide that."
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well,
at least you raise him right. He's dependent, like independent or whatnot. So yeah, that's huge. That's what you want. It's sad to see them go, but you raise them right when they're independent like that. So
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Does your wife help with the business at all, or she?
No, she's she works for Cal Fire. She also does mortgages. She does reverse mortgages for the elderly, and she was doing that full time, and then the economy took a shit, and so she went back to the state we got really good benefits through her for my daughter. My daughter's a type 1 diabetic, and so medical is like crucial, and the state's medical is stellar. It's so good. It's like, I go to the doctors and it costs me $5. It's
nice.
Yeah. So can't beat that. So
no. Yeah,
but she doesn't like her job though.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's a necessity. It's not like she don't get to be like you and go to work and do something she loves every day. She has
I
to
go to my clubhouse and have fun. Yeah.
She's like, "You asshole."
Well, I think we've probably all been there. It's like that's how I was able to jump out and just start my business. Because we had insurance through my wife at that time. And I'm like, I'm going out on my own. She's like, okay. But, you make it work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make it work. So you like tiki stuff. I know you like tiki bars. You got a tiki hut and all that at your house. And
yep.
That's awesome.
That goes back to my dad and my mom. I had older parents. I was the youngest, and my sister's 17 years older than me.
Oh wow!
And so I was an uncle when I was 4 years old, and my dad was in World War II. He was a sailor on a battleship Mississippi, and so when those sailors came back, they had that Polynesian in their blood from going to all those islands, and and my dad was lucky. He was in Pearl Harbor 2 weeks before it got bombed, and they got orders to ship out, and I think they just made it past the Panama Canal when Pearl Harbor hit, and they had to turn around and come back and protect Pearl Harbor. So luckily that went down like that. But yeah, my parents were, growing up in the 60s, they had parties all the time, and it was always tiki parties and stuff. So it's kind of in my blood,
Yeah.
all that. Um, and one of my really good friends lives a block away, and he actually was into tiki separately from me, and he built the ultimate tiki bar in his house. So I just walk over to his house now. I want to get a golf cart so I can drive my golf cart over there. Yeah. And we have tiki parties all the time and stuff. But yeah, I like rum and I like tiki.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's awesome though.
I can see your neighbors just walking. You walking down the road, like, yep, he's going to another tiki party down there.
Got his Hawaiian shirt on and
Yeah.
ready to go. You get your golf cart, you can get it custom made and have like the big tiki mask on it.
Yeah, no, I thought about it. Yeah,
That would be awesome.
I restored a '64 Chevy Impala 10 years ago, and it's a tiki surf wagon.
Right. Yeah.
And so
That's
it's
awesome.
got tikis all over it and stuff like that. And it was fun. I've always wanted to restore a car, and I did it in 8 months. I wanted to go through it fast because I didn't want to lose interest on it, because I knew if I lost interest on it, it wouldn't get done. So I stayed on it for 8 months and got it done, and it turned out great. And love driving that thing around. Got a nice 350 crate engine in it, and so it goes fast, and it gets a lot of looks and compliments, which is fun.
Nice. My mom wants to know how you feel about Jimmy Buffett.
You know what? I had a good friend that owned a sailboat in San Francisco, and I used to go sailing with him all the time, and it was always Jimmy Buffett on it. So it kind of anchored me with his boat and all the fun that we had on his boat. So I do like Jimmy Buffett, but it always brings me back to being on his sailboat. And I've never slept better in my life than being on that boat. And
I can imagine.
Being on a sailboat, it just rocks you to sleep like a baby. I mean, it was some good times on that thing. So I do like my Jimmy Buffett.
Now you said your dad was originally from Mississippi, or he just was stationed?
No, he was on the battleship Mississippi.
On the battleship Mississippi. So okay.
Yeah.
My one of my grandfathers was on the USS Alabama. Back then too. So it's pretty neat. It's here, in Mobile.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Hawaii and gone on the ship there?
No, I'd love to go to Hawaii.
I've not made it to Hawaii. Yeah.
Okay, I would encourage you, because of your grandfather, go there and go on the tour. They let you loose on that battleship, and you can go anywhere you want.
Yep.
You go down to the sleeping quarters. I want you to crawl into one of the bunks. You have to slide in either face up or face down, because you can't turn over.
Yeah.
And it's like you're like, oh my God, you couldn't turn over. You literally couldn't turn over in that thing. It's so small. And just sit there for a minute and think you would have to live on this thing.
Yeah.
And it'll change you.
And put somebody laying on it above you, and the weight of that just sinking down even half an inch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
good. It's good to see.
Yeah, you can just go anywhere in this one. They got the battleship, they got submarine, all that. So it's but when I was younger, we got to spend the night on it one time. And I mean, we just ran everywhere on that sucker. I mean, it's huge. That's what this is the one that they filmed. Oh God, what was the Under Siege movie? Steven Seagal. They used the battleship and then a hangar at one of the airfields across the bay here. To film most of that. Not when it's going through the water. I can't remember which actual battleship that was, but all the scenes like on the deck and inside and all that kind of stuff. It was this one. I remember passing by it. and seeing all the lights and them, making that movie in
That's cool.
1991, whenever that was. But it's an awesome thing. Everybody, even then guys that I didn't even, they're always talking about, passing it, driving down to MTE and stuff like that. And
that's cool.
Which I'm sure like Mike's seen it, and then they go the gout route and all that kind of stuff. And I know they pass it.
The gout route.
Yeah. Eating all the
That sounds
oysters and
terrible.
everything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you gotta talk with Craig and Chris and all of them about the gout route.
Yeah.
But
that's funny.
Yeah, your mom said they do reenactments on they do.
Alabama.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Real quick, we got a few more minutes. I want to talk about tech because I got kind of caught out. James Ricci did a video today. He's like, CRM system, Andy, you're big. So I've been talking a lot about CRMs lately. How do you feel about CRMs?
I mean, it's changed my business. It's huge.
Absolutely.
I developed my own CRM system with Go High Level with a kid that I mentored from high school, and he became a window tinner, and he moved away, and he deep dived into it, and he got divorced, and he came back to California. He showed me how he automated his whole business, and I go, I want you to do that to my business. And so he's been in my shop for a year and developing the CRM system. So it's fully customized. And we come across a problem, he fixes it right then and there, or he makes adjustments. And I keep coming up with wish lists. I wish it could do this. And he goes, give me a minute. And he comes back, okay, there you go. And I'm like, holy crap, and we built this thing out, and then we broke it down and simplified it twice, and try to simplify it as much as possible. The big thing I did is I automated estimating. So PDR, I do estimates, basically a credit card or smaller are automated on my website.
Okay.
Of course, I want anything bigger than that. I want them to personally come into the shop and do a better estimate. But for that door ding and that the basic stuff, they can do an estimate. Also on bumpers, I have that automated as well for corner bumper dents. I do, that's my bread and butter. I no appointment needed, just walk-ins and do that. But that's all automated online too. And then the big thing is my motorcycle estimating system. It's all automated. I don't even talk to customers, man. The tanks just show up in the mail. I just got one yesterday. Never even talked to the customer,
That's huge.
and it's a beautiful thing when you don't have to talk to customers anymore.
Yeah.
It saves you a ton of time.
It saves you
And
so much
headache.
time. People, if you guys haven't looked into it, want to reach out to me, give me a call. It's changed everything. And so we started literally a year ago now, and I had 43 Google reviews. I was so bad at asking for Google reviews and not, didn't care about that stuff. I just hit 200, I think, in a year.
Yeah.
5-star Google reviews. So it automated that whole thing. I can't, I mean, the scheduling, the communications is so much better. But here's the other thing. If you've got a crew of guys and you don't have a CRM system, you're not in control of your customers in that conversation. That's living on your employee's phone. And if they leave you might lose that client as well.
Yeah.
And if you have a CRM system, it's under your control. You're seeing the conversation. You're in control of the conversation, and it gives you value. So if you sell your business and you have a CRM system, you now have something to sell.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have a CRM system, you're behind the times.
Yeah.
I agree.
Andy had he kept telling me I needed to, and I kept putting it off. Finally bit the bullet, and I'm like you, like just everything is streamlined now. I get compliments on how professional, like just the automated text back and stuff, to how professional everything is, how quick we are to respond. The Google reviews, because now they get, once the job's done, it automatically goes out asking for a review. So the Google reviews have skyrocketed. I was the same as you were on that, Daniel. Had fairly low numbers, probably around 50, and I'm almost to 200 now in past year and a half or whatever it is. But yeah, everything is just it. Now we haven't, like, I still answer phones. haven't gone to the fully automated on that. But yeah,
I think that's a market thing, like we was talking about before the show. I think when you're in places that's got a little older generation that don't like texting as much, I think you kind of got to still be allowed to answer some phones there. I would love to text everybody. It's so much easier.
Well, I have it. The first text that they get back, if they want a phone call, they have the option to ask for that phone call, and we'll call them. So I'm not doing away with not talking to people. And it at first it was kind of, okay, let's test this out and see if I can be, more text based and still retain customers. And as soon as I saw that it could be, and it worked, and I was booking more people. It convinced me that I didn't need to be that scary,
Right.
And I'm an old dog, it's I like tech. I hate fixing tech,
Yeah, I get it.
Now, why do you think that, since you've gone to that now you're booking more? Is it because you're not missing calls? Is it because they're getting the information right then and there? Like, instead of you having to say, hey, well, if you can go through our website and submit an estimate, or
yeah, good question. Yeah, good question. There is definitely a segment, the younger generation prefers this 100%. They prefer it so much more. It's fantastic. My daughter's a good example. She came in, started working for me on Fridays, and it took me 2 days to train her on the system, and she's just whipping out texts left and right, so she loves it. She goes, I don't have to talk to people. Great. Boom.
My daughter's the
same. Yeah. And so there's that segment now, and people are kind of getting used to it. You still have, but the older generation, it's actually a smaller segment than the other segment, I think. The communications, I'm open 24/7.
Yeah.
365. They're getting text back on a Sunday night at midnight if they want to.
Yeah.
And 80% of those phone calls are the same questions you get every single day, and you're breaking up your time to answer that phone, or paying somebody to answer that phone to answer those same stupid questions over and over again, when a text can answer that question. And people were responding to it.
Well, like
it's a now generation. Like, people want to be responded to quickly whenever they're hitting you up. If not, they're moving on to the next one. So if they're getting answered that much quickly, you're getting that customer a lot easier than if you wait around and text them the next day or whatever.
Yeah, on the best thing now is I've been working with Mobile Tech RX, and now my system's communicating with Mobile Tech RX. So
I've been begging for that for years.
Yeah. So I've been their guinea pig, and we're testing out the system. There's a few little bugs still to work out with it. Like, it's fine long as you don't have to change any information, or add any information. So that's when the bugs start to happen a little bit. But so far it's working really good. That way you're not doing double entry into both systems, So
I may end up going fully, because, like, The only reason I hear a phone here is because our numbers are forwarded to the landline here.
Yeah.
But they automatically, if we don't answer, they get it within
Okay,
two and a half rings. If I don't answer it, they automatically get. My thing is, I'm afraid of losing the older generation who's still calling from a landline.
yeah. Let me give you a little tip here. So I don't know how much you're paying for a landline, but you're probably paying too much. I ended up buying a cell phone for the office,
Mm-hmm.
and I put it on Mint Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Mint Mobile is like $265 a year for service.
Okay.
And it's so cheap, and it's so I just have it hooked. I have a magnetic mount on the wall, and the cell phone's there, and that's what I use for my landline on my office. And it's so much cheaper than paying for a landline. And what I was doing, it saved me a bunch of money.
Well, mine goes through. We've got AT&T internet, so it all goes through the modem, like even the
That's how mine
landline
is
number. So
with Comcast.
it really, I think when it's bundled like that, I want to say the landline's probably only like an additional $20 a month or whatever.
Okay.
It's really not bad. But like with the Go High level and yours is like that, you got the app on your phone. So when I call people back, I call them through the app. That way it's
Yeah.
actually showing the number that they called.
Yeah.
And is recording it, of course.
Yeah.
The conversation. Because if I call them back from the landline. But I've got to get new business cards made because all mine, and I'm almost out of, still have the landline number on it. So I've got to wait till those are gone.
Yeah, I'll be glad to see Mobile Tech RX release that because I've been begging them for years. I'm hitting Eric Garves up at every MTE, like, come on, man, when's this going to happen? He's like, it's coming, because that is the only downfall I found with having a CRM is multiple entries. You got to do Mobile Tech RX and the CRM system.
The reason that I was able to work that out with them is because I have a tech guy here, and he's so fast, dude. He's on it, and
that's awesome.
He's like, these guys are so slow. He's like waiting. He waits a whole day for an answer back, and he's like, dude, I'm ready to go, man. Just fix that, and I'm ready to go. And so
I get it.
I was able to light a fire because of that under him. I think
Good. I'm glad somebody did.
Yeah. So
like I said, it'll be huge for the industry when you can connect those two things. Like that's just going to make our industry even better and easier.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Well, John, nobody asked you.
The mobile app's just a limited supply of what the computer can do. You basically use your mobile app while you're out and about, and then get home and really handle business on your computer.
I mainly just use the app for my texting and everything because that way, that's all. Like if I'm doing opportunities and everything else and booking stuff, that's all through the computer.
Are you doing all your marketing through it too?
Not
Google
yet.
Ads are through it now.
But that's all. The Google Ads is, but not. You can do Facebook, everything through it. You can do all your stuff through it. But I use Canva to do all my stuff, and I can use Canva to book out. I used to. I just haven't been doing it lately. But
I haven't looked at their media yet. Can you do videos on there now? I know for a while it was only photos.
Well,
can you actually?
You make your video and then you just upload it, and then it uploads. You only upload it once, and then it sends it out to all the media.
Yeah.
So it just but it's bringing back all the analytics into one location.
Yeah.
So you can compare your Google and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and you can just compare everything to see what's working and what's not. It just gives you a lot more information all in one place, and you're not scattered brain trying to figure out what media is fucking doing the job.
Well, that's like we use Customers Plus to do ours, and they rebuilt my entire website in High Level, and just swapped all that over this past Saturday. They do all my Google through it now, so you're trying to get all the analytics through there. So the next thing I want to do is move into, when I post, it's everything's going through there for all the social too. So
David Durden asked,
Tell me.
anybody using AI like chatbots for generating leads? I'm not using them to generate leads, use them to communicate with them.
Yeah, communicate. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much generates a lead. If they click it, it's generating a lead.
And sometimes if we don't answer our Google reviews quick enough, like AI will review it itself. And it's really good. Sometimes I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, what it put? And I'm like, not too bad.
So I don't know if you guys have deep dived into Go High Level. So there's so much available, and they're a la carte kind of stuff, and
Mhm.
and you can add tons and tons of features. It gets pretty geeky.
Yeah.
And but I mean, you can do some awesome stuff with it because
Right.
it's kind of like a Lego set. You can build anything you want.
Well, it's like the website stuff. Like I've used Squarespace for the last 3 years or whatever, and that's what I built my website and absolutely loved it. And then when Josh and them were going in and rebuilding it through High Level, it's almost easier on High Level.
It sure is.
I mean, it's like Squarespace was fairly simple, but High Level's like
even simpler.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to make changes, and it's like even I can do it.
Right. That's what I like about having. We have our own agency. We'll use Customers Plus if we've run into problems with automations or whatnot. But we have our own agency, so that's why I like you able to tap into them extra features that being just a sub account don't necessarily get.
Yeah, for sure.
Mom said you're a cool dude, brother. My mom. My mom.
Why is that?
She's a cool dude, man. She's a big fan of the show. You like tiki bars and Jimmy Buffett, man. You can't go wrong with my mom. You got them going for you.
I think I might like your mom then.
Oh, you just love her. She's awesome.
She lives down here by me, so
Yeah, she ran away to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I gotta meet mom now.
Yeah,
meet mom.
Bring her to MTE next year.
I'll see if we can do it. She'll be the life of the party.
She would be the life of the party.
She is wild.
We probably wouldn't see her.
No,
she'll be gone
all over the place.
But no,
well,
Daniel's been fun, brother.
You gotta come up to my room and see my bar at MTE.
I'm afraid that's where everybody gets the MTE flu at. That's why I've stayed out of it. That one year, what was it, the COVID year or whatnot? Like everybody got sick at MTE that was in the after hours party.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's so hard to avoid. I took extra vitamins this year just to try to boost my immune system, and it still didn't work.
Yeah.
It's
the first one I've gotten sick after, and like I said, it was mainly just a cough anyway.
Well, this year flu season was hitting right at MTE. Like everybody, schools were calling out for flu and everything, so it was around pretty hard this year.
That's like Jean had come by here the Wednesday after, and then he went up to Andy's too on his way to Jean's. And when I was talking to him, I'm like, I'm coughing a little bit, and I'm like, I'm not like sick. I just have to. He's like, I feel the same way. I'm like, thank God it's not just me. Like, I didn't want to get him sick, but if he felt the same way, then it's all good. But no, it's a great show. We're an hour and 13. So
we had, like I said, we had a professional on. We had to bring him out of the shadows again.
Yeah, sorry for the tech loss there.
That's all right.
Nah,
it gave Vinny a little time to make fun of.
Goddamn Vinny.
Well, cool. Well, don't leave until after I end the show and all that. But I'll end up putting us in the back room when I do the exit video. We do have some people that when we say bye, they just go.
It's all the Carbon Tech boys. They roll out. We say
Jesse.
Yeah.
But anyway, appreciate you coming on, Daniel. It was a blast.
Brother.
And everybody that watched and commented tonight, appreciate y'all. We've got, like we said, the next 2 weeks booked out. I'm going to tell you right now, it's Bobby B. Bobby B will be on next week. And, we'll put the promo up this weekend.
Hilarious.
But Bobby B, you don't want to miss this show. He is the ultimate PDR champion.
He wears medium shirts.
And he loves the color red. And it's Bobby B. Sheen. He is not kin to Charlie Sheen.
No, Not Bobby
There you
Z.
Not Bobby Z. And then we got Tori Jenkins on the following week. So another motorcycle guy.
Yeah, motorcycle
Love
team.
Tori.
Yeah.
Oh,
He couldn't come on next Wednesday because he's getting a tattoo. So we had to go with Bobby B. But anyway, appreciate everybody watching.
Thank y'all
and
so much.
we'll see y'all next week. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Good.